What's up, guys? It's Lefty here, and we're talking NBA. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, welcome. Hopefully, I can earn a like from you. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the Southwest Division, and in my opinion, this is probably the most unpredictable division in the NBA. Wide range of possible outcomes for each team, and 3 out of the 5 teams were priced to win the division pretty close to start the season. They all have some question marks, but with uncertainty oftentimes comes potential. Let's start with the Grizzlies here. The Grizz are going to be without their main offensive threat in Ja Morant, obviously, who's serving his suspension for playing with hammers. Like I always say, better to be caught with it than without it. Just don't be flashing it on IG, young fellas. And also, really quickly, I meant to say this in the intro there. If you're interested in becoming a more well-informed sports bettor and improving your overall sports betting IQ, I run a sports betting educational Discord called the Betting Network. I have over 100 different betting lessons on various topics. I do game previews that shows kind of my game selection process. I have betting tools available, and of course, I post bets I'm personally making, along with bets from my network of professional betting groups that I call Source Plays. I post those as well. I do charge $25 per month. It was free for the first 3.5 years, but I had to start charging because there was pick sellers and like sports betting content creators coming in and basically just stealing my write-ups word for word and copying the plays. Of course, they can still do that, and it's welcome, but at least now I get something out of it. But link to join is in my bio. Let's get back to the Grizz here. Historically, the Grizz have performed pretty well without Ja, but we have to keep in mind that was when they had Tyus Jones, who was his backup, and he actually led them to a 26-5 record last time Ja missed a bulk amount of games. But even without Tyus, the only major change I'll be making with the Grizz as far as like betting goes is on totals, or specifically Memphis overs. Ja's an extreme over player, and outside of Ja, I like this Grizz team. You know, swapping out Dylan Brooks for Marcus Smart seems like a positive, but being a diehard Celtics fan, I didn't actually mind seeing Marcus leave Boston. He's dropped off in defensive ability, and I think there's some health concerns there. He seems to have lost a step in lateral quickness, so I kind of think the Grizz are getting damaged goods in this one. But I have the Grizz as a top 3 coach. I love Taylor Jenkins. This guy can coach his ass off. I'm a big fan of Desmond Bane. I think he's underrated. If I had to pick the best team in the division, I'd go with Memphis. They check off 3 main boxes that I think are important when measuring a team, and it's coaching, team unity, and then defense. I think they could win a lot of games just from their experience, chemistry, and coaching. The regular season win total number is right around where I project it, but I'm okay with a bet on them to win the division if you can get around plus 200, which is available at some legal books. But I'm interested to see how this team plays without Ja and then how Marcus Smart fits. Those are 2 very big questions there. And plus, again, they lost Tyus Jones, and I don't think people realize how important he was for that team. Also, Brandon Clark, who comes off the bench, he tore his Achilles. Not ideal for someone whose game is built around running and jumping, to get rebounds. I don't have anything on the Grizz as of right now as far as future bets. Let's get into the next team here. The Pelicans. They have potential to have one of the best starting 5s in the league, in my opinion, but that largely depends on Zion, and I'm not sure he cares too much about basketball, if I'm being honest. I'm a big Brandon Ingram fan, and like the Pelicans head coach, Willie Green. Herb Jones, awesome, super versatile on defense, has a really high steal rate. I didn't bet this, but I saw on FanDuel a prop for most steals in the season, and Herb Jones was plus 3,000, I think, if I remember correctly. I can't remember, but I had that circled and forgot about it. Doubtful that number is still available, but I really liked him for that. Herb Jones is like the exact type of player a team needs in order to win games. Now, the downside here with the Pelicans is CJ McCollum's getting older, so is Valanciunas. I don't dare bet any futures or season-long wagers on this team because they're so dependent on Zion, who's a long shot to even play half the games. He's played 60 games only once in his career. And it sucks, too, because this lineup is just, like, nasty. Jose Alvarado, he's a terror on defense. Najee Marshall can shoot the ball, play both ends. Trey Murphy might really be the most underrated player in the entire league. But, none of it works if you're handicapped by Zion because he's just eating up so much money, and this is really his last chance to get it right and play to his potential. And so we shall see. Now, next up, we'll talk about the Dallas Mavericks. This was the worst against the spread team in the league last season. They finished 30, 49, and 3 against the spread, tied with the Miami Heat for the worst against the spread record last season. In a division that already has a wide range of outcomes, the Dallas Mavericks are a team with the widest range of outcomes, in my opinion. They have one of the most stable franchise players in Luka, and then one of the most unstable franchise wrecking players in Kyrie. I think Dallas is a little bit overrated too. They're just so dysfunctional and led by Jason Kidd, who I don't think is a good coach. He doesn't do anything right. And how about the story about him making the Bucks team run wind sprints because Thon Maker didn't have an iPhone because it was annoying in the group chat or something like that? That's their head coach right now. So I bet the under 44.5 regular season wins for Dallas. The roster construction makes 0 sense. They have Seth Curry and Tim Hardaway Jr., 2 shooters that won't ever get shots with Luka and Kyrie on the court. Kyrie hasn't added value to a team in a long time. Their starting center is Derek Lively, who I think he averaged like 6 points per game in college last year. And it's becoming obvious Luka's getting frustrated. His technical fouls are just constantly increasing more and more. I have Dallas finishing the regular season around 500, and that's if everything goes good. So I feel good about going under 44.5 wins for the Mavs here. Next team up, let's go to the Spurs here. This Wemby praise is at an all-time high. His expectation is just crazy. And I'm not even saying he won't live up to the hype, but I never understand why so many NBA fans or writers have to set such a high bar. It's not like you get points or money in 5 years for tweeting now that he's going to be the most dominant player in the league. How about just saying, he's going to win the All-Star, or he's going to become an All-Star in his rookie season or something, which nobody's actually done since, I think, Tim Duncan, or the first true rookie. Blake Griffin wasn't a true rookie when he went to the All-Star game. But I think the range for Wemby is just so wide. He's absolutely dominated preseason. Yes, preseason is different, but man, if he's even close to what we saw, he's going to be unreal. And I like the Spurs upside. With so much variance in this division and the unknown aspect and just high ceiling of Wemby, I think a division future bet on the Spurs at 80-1 would be smart. If you think there's more than a 2 or 3% chance they win this division, then it's a good bet. When you look at other teams in the division, it's possible Dallas implodes on themselves. Memphis without Ja gets behind too early and can't rebound. And New Orleans with Zion, they could all be bad teams, but the Spurs' success is only possible if the defense of Wemby shows itself, because besides him, it's really just scorers. And also, we don't even really know what this team looks like because they tanked all last year. So there really could be, some actual unknown potential with Vassell and Keldon Johnson that we just haven't seen yet because they basically sat every other game last year. And obviously we can check off the coaching box for the Spurs as well. Popovich is just a great one. He's not one of these old dinosaurs who are, stuck in the past. He's innovative and playing true positionless basketball with that kid Jeremy Sochan at point guard. I like how Pop likes to play up-tempo too, which he has a team for too. They're youthful enough, Let's go to the Rockets. Save the worst team in the division for last here. The Rockets have a long rebuild ahead of them. I do think they might be sneaky good against the spread, but don't see a lot of wins for this team this year. I like Udoka as a head coach, but he has an uphill climb and a lot of projects on this team. He's a defensive-minded coach. He used to be with Boston. I liked him when he was there, but he doesn't really have many real defensive-minded players. I understand what the front office and game plan is from a wide lens or long-term. It's build the team up from the defensive end, but that takes time, and you need to be able to score in the West to keep up on a nightly basis. I think that Dylan Brooks fits this system, and the rookie Amon Thompson there, who's Asur Thompson's brother, 4th overall pick, good locker room. No, is it Azor? No, yeah, it's Amen that plays for the Rockets. Yeah, I like him. He's the 4th overall pick, but he's the brother of Azor Thompson on Detroit. I get them mixed up. But Amen can play the 1, 2, and 3. Fred VanVleet, who I was just thinking of, leader of this team, good locker room guy, but he's past his prime, and I hope he doesn't take opportunities away from the Rockets' best player, Jalen Green. If this is a true rebuild, Van Fleet should just be deferring to Green majority of the time, and hopefully this is something the Rockets are discussing as a team. They aren't a playoff team, so no need for Van Fleet to be anything more than a locker room guy and a facilitator on offense. Don't need him trying to take over and shoot the ball every time. I really considered playing under the Rockets' regular season totals at 27.5 wins. Even so low there, even considering it tells you how I feel about this team this year. But that's going to do it for the Southwest Division. If you watched to the end, I appreciate it. And if you haven't seen my video on the Northwest Division, I'll link it in the top right corner now. Be on the lookout for the Eastern Conference Southeast Division coming up next. That's it for this one. Until next time, good luck with your bets.